What is going on, everybody? Sorry about that. We had some technical difficulties. Y'all have to excuse me. This is my first time using StreamYard. Looks like we got 11 comments in here. How's everybody doing tonight? 8 people watching. All right. We're going to get this thing started. I got a little intro video for y'all to watch. Hold on real quick. Okay. I don't know what's going on with that. Mic is muted. You can hear me now? Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and bring our guest on. I got Mr. KY Konstrictors himself, Rob Sowers, a good buddy of mine. So y'all stay tuned and I'm gonna get him on here. Hold on real quick. Add the stream. Here we are. What's going on, Rob?
What's up, man? Doing all right?
Living a life, man.
Heck yeah.
Let's check out some of these comments real quick. Here, hold on.
Looks like you got Kirkwood 75, Gypsy Girl. What's up, Emmy?
Just dropped my phone.
Gershon from GP Snakes, Joe Barley, Facebook user.
Yeah, I had technical issues, Kurtwood. My mouse kept clicking stuff, and I couldn't get my mic to unmute. It was just problem at the problem. But we hear it now. We're here now. How's everybody doing tonight? Good, I hope. All right. So, Rob, how's the season going for you, man?
It's going good, but it's going slow. I'm only on clutch 2, but come the 14th of July, I should be popping about 11. Starting the 14th, I got 14th, 16th, 19th, 23rd, 27th, 31st, you name it.
Nice. Most excited pairing this year?
My most excited? Probably it's a Desert Ghost Clown.
Desert Ghost Clown. Nice, man. Double hits or you got a hit?
Yeah, be double hits. I have that, and also my first clutch, which was BPI Exanthic Puzzle. I got a visual out of that, and then some double hits stuff as well.
Nice. So Kurtwood said, sounds like you're in a bathtub. Guys, I don't know if y'all been in my shop before, but if y'all can't tell from Rob's background, he's on the other side of my table. He's got a pretty bad service out in the God's country where he's located at, and we decided to come up to our house. I'm gonna do something real quick so I can hear myself over his mic too. So let's pause yours or take yours off, and I'll mute it. No, we'll just use mine.
See if that's better.
Does that sound a little better, guys? You good? We getting any feedback now? Can y'all hear me now? I am sorry about that. We get Rob back on the stream. God bless.
There we go.
You with me? All right. Okay. I swear, we're going to get this together. What's going on, Gershon? GP Snakes? All right. We're all good. How's it going, Veronica? Appreciate it, Kurtwood, for getting us together.
Kurtwood's a pro.
Yeah, man. We are, 11 minutes in here, finally able to do some actual streaming.
Hey, I've seen professionals have this problem. Sometimes StreamYard just won't work for you.
Cool. What's going on, Nick? How you doing, man? All right, so we're going to get into some questions here. So you said you got before we got all echoey, clown pods or clown desert ghost?
Some desert ghost clown stuff.
Okay.
Some pod stuff. VPI Xanthic stuff. And then, I got some het pod stuff as well. Some banana inchy, just banana pod. The typical stuff.
I'm really liking the Xanthic project. I wasn't about it at first. Same thing with clown. And that changed real fast once I seen a couple select projects that I really wanted to go after.
Oh, yeah.
What's going on, BJ? All right, so first question I'd like to ask you is, how did you or what got you started in reptile keeping?
Well, I see you're about 6-7 years ago. My wife was scrolling through Facebook and she seen where someone was selling a ball python. And we contacted the person. She said, why don't you get your ball python, something to do. And I was like, well, I've never owned a snake. Let's just try it out. Which I've always loved all animals anyway.
Right.
Turns out the guy was going to meet us to sell us this ball python. And then right before we went to go meet them, they backed out and said, well, a friend's going to take it. Okay. So by then I done got in, to want one.
Right.
So then it put me on the hunt for one. Then I found my first snake, which is Big Mama, my Big Normal. And if anybody here knows and watches my videos, they know Big Mama.
Right.
And same old story, you get into watching videos, you see all these morphs, hides, clowns, and you get addicted.
Yeah.
And voila, $80,000 later, here I am.
I guess that leads me to my next question: is how long you've been keeping reptiles? Was that your first reptile period?
Well, my first reptile was a turtle.
Turtle. Okay.
But back when I was a kid.
I got you. When you got serious about it, how long has that been?
About 7 years.
7 years.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got Joe Bartley asks, any straight codon clutches?
Any straight codons? Yes, I do. I have it's probably one of my favorite pairings is I've paired my chocolate jigsaw to a hidden gene woman. Possible special. I'm hoping that she can prove that out this year because I got a lot invested in her, and yeah, I just want to see that prove out.
What was that one?
Hey there, Heather. Thanks for coming.
Back a couple months ago, you had showed me. We thought it was a soul sucker. Or how's she doing?
Oh, she's doing great. She's probably right at 1,000 grams. She's a pastel soul sucker fader, 66% head clown. I really hope the clown proves out on her, because if that proves out, man, she's gonna be a banger.
You gonna put her straight to a clown?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking fire clown.
Fire clown, gotta love that, man. I've got a fire clown from Fable Creations, Mike Kano.
Yep, same clutch as mine.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, Mike has some fire stuff over there.
Yeah, man.
He's a little under the scene.
Yeah, I'm trying to get him on here in August because he definitely is not out there as well as. I mean, I tell people about him, and his collection is insane. I've had conversations with him an hour long, and I'm like, "Where are you pulling this stuff out of? Where are these photos coming from?" But so it's been about 7 years, and I know it's hard to get a number on it because people ask me that time. How many snakes you got? I don't know.
I have 90.
90?
And I know that
But that's
because I
snakes.
counted them.
I know you got more reptiles than that.
I do. I have 2 bearded dragons. I have an iguana. I did have a monitor that I had to rehome. Hated doing that, but it was better for him. He went to a monitor breeder.
Okay.
So he'll be living his life out.
Nice.
Doing his thing.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I seen that when you posted the monitor out. I wanted to hop all over it, but you got to be realistic sometimes, and they do require a lot of attention and
They really
a lot
do.
of space. What's going on with Flexing Pythons? I see you dropped the first comment like 28 hours ago. So you have 90 ball pythons.
Yep.
Wow.
And then also, I got a few colubrids too, so I'm pushing at 100 snakes actually.
Yeah. And then you got a frog, right?
Yep. I got a strawberry albino Pac-Man frog. His name is Daryl Strawberry, of course.
Daryl Strawberry. Any other reptiles mixed in there?
No, that's about it.
Okay. All right. Well, I originally had started this podcast. I guess in the beginning there, I could have started out with this, but my intro was kind of messing up. It threw me for a loop. But I originally started this podcast to be somewhat local and to be informative to our local community on husbandry techniques, people that they can reach out to if they have questions. Because I see it happens a lot where, a lot of people feel like they know what the right answer is or what to do or, who to contact, and they don't. And I'm going to bring on people here that I trust and I put my stamp behind as good people and people that you all can reach out to. So anybody on here that, even if you aren't local, I know you, Rob, you've probably got some fans in here that know you across the country. I see Mother effing Ball Pythons, Heather. You all can trust that Rob knows what he's talking about, especially when it comes to this ball python keeping. And you all can reach out to him and ask him. He's always been a good mentor and friend to me and been able to answer any questions that I have. But leading on to the next question, what common husbandry mistakes or mishaps do you see most common, whether it be in the local reptile page or even the famous ball python groups on Facebook?
Okay, so what I probably see the most is heating. And everybody thinks, that as long as you have that 90-degree hot spot, you're good.
Right.
But you're not.
Right.
And your room needs to be ambient.
Yeah.
And I watched a podcast the other day that had Brian Gundy on it. and he spoke about this, and it's 100% true.
Yeah.
You have to have an ambient heat temp to where your cool side is 82 degrees right in there, because you don't want your ball python to go from 90 degrees to like a 75 degree hot, cold spot.
Right.
Because that's not correct for them.
Right.
They're in
Too
an
gradient.
area where it's always hot. So
Right.
definitely heat gradient is the number one mistake you see.
It's pretty cooking in here. I got it
Oh, yeah.
83 without the fans. I like to keep it around 80, 78, 77 during the winter and 80 during the summer. I was just actually, Rashawn just commented on her, oh wow, 90 nice, I was it Sick With It? Rashawn, I think it was Sick With It was his last podcast, and he was talking to a guy, and he does ambient heat, and I asked him, what his temperatures was, and Rashawn, you can chime in here if I was wrong, but I'm pretty sure that he said somewhere in the 86, 85 range for ambient. Are you opposed to doing ambient, or I kind of guess that goes against what you just said, having a gradient.
I'm not opposed to that. I also agree that you have to have that 86 degree ambient heat.
Right.
That's without the hot spot.
Right.
So, you can do either or.
Yeah.
I've seen it successful both ways. So,
what's going on, Steven?
Yeah, there's a local boy there.
Bourbon ball pythons in the building. I've been tempted to go ambient, man, because just to see. I want to see what if my electric bill would differ. I try to stay real quiet whenever the electric bill comes in. And my wife's saying, "Why is it this much more this month?" I don't know. I just added one rack.
Right.
So I don't know how much of a difference it makes, man, and I'm kind of afraid to try. I've always been afraid of regurgitations, and I don't know, man. It's kind of one of those things. Like Rashawn was saying, is like I want to kind of perfect everything, before I try to step into something new. Which I'm still green behind the ears, honestly.
We all are. Not one person in this chat or in this room.
Oh yeah,
is an expert.
We can never stop learning, that's for sure.
Right.
All right. So you say that heating is probably one of the most common husbandry mistakes that you see.
Yeah, I would say heating's up there in the top. I probably could talk this whole live stream about husbandry mistakes and what I've learned over the years. And
I don't want beat on anybody, call anybody out or anything like that. We just want to. The whole goal of this live, really, for me, is to be able to hopefully help somebody, educate somebody on maybe one little thing, and that'll be good for me. Anybody in the chat, if you have any questions for Rob, any type of husbandry or just general questions, be sure to comment that, and we'll get him to answer those. What are some tools or resources that you could recommend for someone? Whether it be websites, YouTube pages, people that you like to follow that are really knowledgeable, that they can go other than yourself and follow and be able to get some information.
Okay, so this right here, what you see right here, these live chats.
Right.
Don't be afraid to go check out a live chat if you've never been part of it, and just say hello, because trust me, the people that are in these chats, and I could name 4 or 5 I'm looking at right now,
right,
have years upon years upon years stacked experience, and they're not, anyone here would not help one another.
And that's the great thing about the reptile community, man. For the most part, I have to say that there's a vast majority of people who end up like family, right? I've got several that I can call my brothers, and I can call on them anytime, and I know that they're gonna be down to help me out, or down to do anything, and it doesn't even really have to revolve around reptiles. So definitely brings people together, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, there's numerous people that I've never even met in person that I feel more comfortable telling them something than I do some people I've met in person.
Oh yeah. Heather says we are family. You are correct.
I'm the godfather to Heather's collection, jokingly, of course. But
her whole collection?
Yeah, her whole collection's mine if something happens to her. So.
Oh, I got you. So Sean says he's doing his research on ambient temp and learning how it works, as is you do with anything that you transition into. You don't just take one person's word for it to say that this is best for what you got going on. You do your own research, and then once you figure out that's what you want to do and how you're going to do it, and you can do it good, then you do it, and you do it to the best of your ability.
Sure.
I think my mouse finally stopped messing up. I don't know if y'all were seeing comments pop up and then leave and then pop back up. I was having issues with that before it started too. So Pogo's Python says reptiles are just a talking point for the community. I mean, I wouldn't say it's just a talking point. I think that there's a bunch of people here who really love and enjoy the reptiles, and like me and Rob here, just really want to be able to help some people, and we're using this platform to do so. So if anybody has any questions and they need them to be answered on anything, be sure to put those in the comments. We enjoy each other's company. Yes, we do. Pogo's Pythons. Rob's called dibs on my collection. BJ Combs says I seen a pic of his start of his room in 1,200 square foot, and he's going to do ambient temp. Should you scale down or build a smaller room? I don't know, man. I don't know. I think that comment went off there. I don't know enough about your space. There's a lot that goes into that.
Insulation.
Yeah. I will say from the pic that I seen there, it's concrete block. And the biggest issue that I've had in my shop, which is my attached garage, is humidity. So concrete, and I'm pretty sure Rob was the first person to mention this to me, and I didn't even no clue that it just sucks the humidity out of it. So you may want to seal it before you start doing anything.
They make a block filler, and then you go over that with just any wall paint, like a semi-gloss,
right,
and it pretty much seals it. But the block filler is the main thing. Is you want to make sure that block the pores are filled up.
Yeah.
I used to paint too, so I know a lot about that.
Yeah. I hate paint. Absolutely hate it.
Me too.
I absolutely hate it.
I did it for 12 years, but I hate it to the core.
I do maintenance, and anytime a painting job comes up, my wrist hurt, my back's about broke, some excuse is gonna come up because I hate paint, man. I barely am able to paint in my own home. All right. So you got any input? Anything you want to touch on, Rob? It's kind of just a free moment here.
Just I don't know, like to people on Facebook mainly. I about quit Facebook because I was just tired of seeing all the negativity.
Yeah.
You need to find the right crowd to run with.
Definitely.
And don't be afraid to ask questions because you see some, asshole out there just trying to act like they know it all and will drag you down. I've seen so many people that needed help, just deter away from it, give up on it, and then in the end the animal suffers because they were afraid to ask for help again.
Yeah.
Just don't be afraid to ask questions, and don't be afraid to take advice either.
Yeah. I mean, got to start somewhere. And I have a lot of people who ask questions, and I love answering questions. There probably 3 or 4 people on here that can attest to this right now, that there is not a time of day or a day where I'm doing anything where I wouldn't stop and message you back if you had a question about something. And that's most people in this hobby. There's not a lot of people. There are some, but I think the worst part is the people who don't ask the questions, right?
Right.
The ones that feel like they got it under wraps, and ultimately, like you said, the animal ends up suffering. And we've all started somewhere. We have all made mistakes, like you said, man. We have all been in the beginning. But if you're not learning, then you're losing, because it's not the way to go. It's a continuous path of growth and learning every day. Pogo's Python says, I stay away from Facebook. Man, I'm kind of whatever about Facebook. Like, I use it, I don't have a lot of issues with it. I do understand and respect everybody's not liking Facebook, or I see why people get away from Facebook and stuff. I feel like it's more useful than it is destructive, in my life at least. I'm able to connect with a lot of people, not even even in the reptile community, anything. So it has helped me accrue a following of people who want to see my animals, want to see my pairings, want to see the babies. So I don't really have too many problems with it. I stay out of the Facebook groups drama. That's what I stay out of. I'm in there, for the goals that I have, and that's it. I don't want no part of drama. I've had my times where I'm like, I'm gonna set this person straight, and you get nowhere.
Right.
I'm sure you've had your moments, Rob, where you've wanna. I know you've made a couple posts in our local group, just trying to put a public PSA like, hey, this is what it is. If you don't know what's going on, ask somebody and help. I'm trying to set people straight, and it's almost like it goes in one ear and out the other. It's crazy, man.
You don't know how many times I've seen people looking for female breeders. I want female breeders.
Yeah. Yep. That's the big one.
I tend to stay away from those people, and I'll tell you why. Don't get me wrong, there's people out there that will buy female breeders that I would sell them to.
Right.
But they've been in it for a while, and I know that.
Right.
But you see these come by night.
Yeah.
Breeders.
Yeah.
That have 2 hatchlings, and then they say, "Oh, I want to breed because I see people making money."
Yep.
You're getting into it for the wrong reasons, and if I was to sell you those female breeders, I'm going to see them posted in about 6 months.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how to breed them, and now they're costing you money because them girls can eat.
Yep.
So
exactly.
that's probably one of my number one pet peeves, and you probably saw me post that meeting a couple weeks ago about got them female breeders.
Yeah. It's like crack to them, man.
It is.
And I get it. To some people, they feel like the race is all about getting female breeders, and when you're just getting in, or when you're one-track mind about making a quick buck, that is all you see, and I can see that. But in retrospect, it can end up costing you dearly to try to jump the levels of the race, right? It's like collect 4 or 5 decent hatchlings, and then 8 months in, you're like, I can't take this for another 1.5 2 years raising these up to breed them, and I'm gonna go get me some breeder females. And like you said, it's one of those sketchy people you're gonna buy a breeder female from, and they just got it 2 weeks ago. The person they got it from, who knows what type of conditions they were in. And they get that snake, and they immediately take it in. They got this male that they've had for 8 months, and they pop him. He's got sperm plugs, so they throw that male with them, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna breed this," And then never end up getting a clutch, and that one of those snakes dies, and the next thing you know, there's a virus running around, so, and their whole collection ends up wiped out. That's a very extreme case or extreme scenario, but it's very true. And it's got me, I've talked to my wife about this, especially here lately, just wanting to only buy hatchlings, only create my own heads. I've got a lot of genetics in my collection. I know you've got a lot of genetics in your collection, and you get to a point to where you're like, if you get all of your base morphs that you want to work with, you can create anything you want, right?
Correct.
You got the recessives, and you got the codoms. Hell, it may take you 8 to 12 years, but you can create whatever you want to create as long as you get what you want to work with.
Yep.
But yeah, quarantine is key.
Yep, Heather said it right there. You got to quarantine.
So speaking of some of these people, I've seen a lot of people that have went to a show and they have seen a guy sitting behind a table and bought a snake from him. And that does not make him a breeder. And I'm going to tell you, especially at our little local show that I've seen, the first one that we had since COVID opened back up was pitiful. Did you go to that?
Oh, the Lexington show, yes.
That thing was pitiful.
It was.
First table I walked up to, asked the guy about snake. I don't know, man. I just got these in. I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's a flippers convention is what that is.
I know
I'm not going to say any names, but I got several phone calls the night before.
Yeah.
Wanting to know if I had anything for sale. I'm like, okay.
Trying to fill the table up.
Yeah, trying to.
What's going on, Blue Balls? Yeah, man. And I've had this conversation with people before. I do believe that there is a place for wholesalers. Let's call them that, right? Because, flipper, you're getting this, then immediately turn it around and you're flipping it. It's like two-dimensional. If you want to do it right, you kind of wholesale, you're buying, because at the Ohio show that I vended with my buddy Gary, I think he's in there. He said some comment about somebody being ugly. I think he was talking about himself. But anyway, he vended it with me. And I had a guy beside me that had bought 15, 20 snakes from this guy, and he'd had them for like 2 or 3 months. And he'd sell a snake, and he'd just pick one out of his bag, put it up into the display. It was a replacement. Wow. And in my opinion, if he's done, a proper quarantine and been able to vouch for each one of those snakes that they are eating, that they are in good health, then that is the way to do it. If you're going to do it, is it for me? No, I don't want no part of that. I like to be able to vouch for my animals. I think you feel the same way. But it's definitely not. I bought 20 snakes on Friday to sell on Saturday. Even if the guy knows, well, these come from Rob. And then that's another thing is like name dropping. They're sitting there and somebody's asking about this snake, and he's like, yeah, this come from Rob. And the snake that he picked up from somebody else had mites, and it crawled over to your snake, and he sells to you, and then all of a sudden your name's thrown in the mud about you're selling a snake with mites, and you weren't even there, So I get it, man. I would have done the same thing. I don't have nothing.
It's for that reason you just said. We don't want no part of that. Is why we don't even have to go to shows, because we sell out of our own shops.
Yeah.
I'm sold out the last 3 years, no issues.
Yeah.
I wish I could have made more because of the people wanting animals from me. It was just unreal.
Yeah, there's definitely
What's up, Blue? Thanks for stopping by.
There's definitely a high demand for them. I mean, I have a hard time even posting anything in the morph market because people constantly message me, and sometimes I don't even know where they come from. But I'm happy for it. So I believe that this is, it says Facebook user here. We can't see who you are, but I believe this is my good buddies, Marty and April Prather. We actually had a couple split clutches this year. These guys took a trip, and I kind of watched out for their collection, and we did some split clutches. We had a ghost female that was bred to my allegedly super pastel ghost. After this clutch, I don't know what to think about them. I thought I proved them out. with my clutch that I had from him last season, and then he was supposedly proven when I got him. Neither here nor there, but it looks like we got 5 ghosts and 1 super. So 5 ghosts and 1 pastel ghost. But I talked to another guy, and he, he's telling me just to kind of wait and let them shed a couple times, and see if they don't color up. I don't know what to think about it, man. They look like ghosts to me. I'll show you here if we get done here. What you about to say?
I was just thinking with the ghost, aren't their sheds like clear? There's no pattern on
Well, no. He's saying the actual snake color up, like snake.
Oh, yeah.
Wait a couple sheds, and hopefully it'll kind of color up, because the pattern on them don't look normal to me. I'll grab them right here. The patterns don't. So I don't know, man. I go back and forth myself. You know how it is with your own collection. You look at stuff too long, and then you're kind of like, oh my god, this is a new gene. And you've been staring at the normal for 15 minutes.
We've all done that.
Yeah. If you haven't, then you really don't look at your stuff enough. So this is what I'm talking about here. I'll show you guys. Y'all tell me what you think.
It looks ghost to me.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about them being ghosts. Mom and dad are both.
Okay, I thought that's what you were
definitely
saying.
ghosts, but it's the dad is supposed to be super pastel ghost. So in this pairing, everything should be pastel at least, and then also ghost, because you have both parents are visual ghost, right?
To be honest with you, I don't.
They can ghost. It's normal ghost.
I think
No
just
pastel?
normal ghost. I don't see
That's what I'm
pastel in
thinking
it.
That's what I'm thinking too. Sat there and looked at their eyes forever, didn't see the green.
It's a normal pattern all day long.
Yeah, and then
Pastel's a little bit more broken up. And,
yeah,
wackier, and I think would be brighter.
my buddy, so this is a split clutch, and being that it should have been a dead giveaway clutch. There were 6 eggs, and everything should have been pastel ghost. And the mom was actually 100% het caramel albino. So everything should have been pastel ghost, 50% caramel albino, no brainer. So we divvied it up, 50-50, 3 eggs. They took theirs, they incubated. I took my 3, we incubated, and when they popped out, I wasn't even really looking at them. I just posted them to Facebook. All these pastel hypos, they're gonna be available. I don't need no more. I got 4, I think. So I don't need no more. And a guy commented, he goes, yeah, those aren't pastel, those are just hypos. And I was like, what are you talking about? And I started looking at them, and I was like, man, I think he's right. And then theirs were like 2 days later than mine, but I incubated 89.5, and I think they did 89, and that made the difference, right? So theirs came out about 2 days later, and so right now they either probably just shed out last night or yesterday, but they sent me a picture of one of theirs that looks a lot brighter, and I believe it's a pastel ghost. So when I seen that, I was kind of like, yeah. So I guess because there's no such thing as a 3/4 Partho clutch, is there? I guess
I've
anything's
never
possible.
heard of it. I think Partho is they're all going to be just like
These are all female, and these are all regular ghosts. I have a 9/8 clutch in the incubator for him right now from that super pastel ghost. If all those come out pastel, I'm gonna call this a 3/4 Partho clutch, because that'll be 6, 9, 15 babies that I would have produced from him. Well, not this clutch, but previous clutch that I did last year was 6 eggs.
Mr. Cano's in the building.
Is Mike in here?
Yeah.
Favorite Creations. What's going on, brother? So Stephen Pecor says
He's your ghost.
yeah, he's the hypo king. I got
king there.
Lindsay Noble is the hypo queen, and he's the hypo king. He ain't posted it yet, but he sent me a picture of some heat earlier today. At the last Louisville show, we watched a vendor bring in 6 boxes they had just picked up at the airport. Literally took dozens of animals straight from the fruition of the shipping boxes right to their table. It's a shame.
It is.
It's a shame. All right, GP Snakes want me to show that male. I'm gonna show that male real quick. And you can tell me what you think about him, Rob. Man, that
He looks
right.
kind of like a firefly hypo.
Think so?
I think so. What is he supposed to be? Just
Super pastel ghost.
Pastels.
I've never produced any fires
on the fire by no means, but it's got the blushing of a super pastel.
So the first clutch with him, I produced one visual super pastel ghost, a super pastel het ghost, pastel ghost, and then 2 pastel het ghosts.
So Rashawn said he agrees with me. I think it's firefly.
Really?
Yeah.
And just never hit any fires.
Well, a couple of those may be fires. You just have to let them see if they'll lighten up any.
Y'all see that?
Fire is hard to tell.
Yeah. Yeah. I love the way he looked. And I was very tempted.
Dustin Angel.
What's that?
A buddy of mine that I work with, Dustin, he keeps green tree pythons, and he also keeps some a few hots, but
I'm scared to death of venomous. I'll watch them all day, man. I ain't keeping any.
Not with my kids.
Nah, yeah, not with me. I don't have dogs.
I would love to have some.
I'm like clumsy and I haven't had any bad mistakes with the snakes, man. I don't want none of my snakes to get out, but I don't know. I just feel like there's too much room for error for me right now. I guess when I get a little bit older, I'll slow down. I could think about going and seeing somebody's collection, but I still ain't gonna own that. I know how I am. How's that lighting now, Blue Balls? Any better? So Lou, that's how your season's going.
My season's going good. It's just going slow. When everybody's done cutting their eggs, I'll still be cutting mine. I'm thinking I got about anywhere from 11 to 15 more clutches going to happen for me over the next couple months. So
11, 15.
I've built several girls that haven't ovulated yet. They're right there, 35, 40 millimeter follicles. You can just feel them.
Yeah. You got any plans to get a? Sorry, I'm gonna cut you off.
You're good. I was just going to tell Dustin that I was sitting across from Ramel. I'm over at his place. He's been to my house and seen my setup before.
Do you have any plans to get a ultrasound?
I do, but probably not this year.
Yeah.
Probably next year. Ultrasound would definitely benefit. Just because, once they're at that point, you can stop throwing your males in and save them. Which pretty much I don't pair my males no more than 4 or 5 times to the same girl.
Yeah.
And then they're pretty much shelved, and if they're going to go, they're going to go.
Gotcha. So, I want to ultrasound. I'm just kind of trying to find the right place to get it. It's like
I've seen eBay have some very affordable.
Yeah, and that's another thing is I don't want to buy I don't want to save $500 to be out $800. You know what I mean? Because I bought some that wasn't as good as the one that was a couple more $100. Not saying that the ones you're talking about are crap. I don't know which ones you're talking about. But I know like there's like two or three brands that like almost everybody in the hobby uses, right?
Yeah.
That you've seen pretty much.
Mostly are from Breeder Circle, and they're like
Contact or something like that.
$1,500 or $2,000 or something like that.
$1,000 on Amazon.
Steven has one. I believe that I think he paid like $800 for it. I've seen it in person. and it does the trick.
I gotta say about getting him on there. He's got a lot of good stuff too.
Oh yeah, Steve's another one that's behind the scenes.
And I think that Kentucky in general has a lot of good breeders with some good stuff, but we got a lot of crappy, worthless people that are trying that. Yeah, I don't know, man. All right, so Jewel says, "What's your most anticipated catch?" I think I asked you that. You were talking about the Clown DG.
Yeah, which I just started pairing them, so it may not be this year. Could be late this year or early next year. So
she just start building on you out of nowhere. Or?
Yeah.
Okay. We got something like that. We just got a Mojave. I'll be late.
Got my boy Iron Dog right there. What's up, brother?
What's going on?
Well, Chris, he's a good guy.
Hey, Chris from Iron Dog Reptiles.
Yeah. They got a good.
I've watched their podcast.
Good podcast too. The Iron Animal Show. They're great. Yeah. Those are my brothers over there.
Yeah, man. We got Mr. Reffett here, buddy of mine, asks, what is your experiences with the multi-sided clutch? Any stats on which male usually takes the last one paired, or is it lottery? He's backstory to this. He's got if it doesn't, already give stuff away, he's got a multi-sided clutch, and he's worried to death about it. So I don't think you're going to be able to put him at ease in it because
the only answer I can give to that is if you have 10 eggs, it's a possibility for them to fertilize one and the other one fertilize 9, or you can get a 5-5 split, 7-3, 6-4.
And that's the crazy part.
You just have to look at the babies.
Yeah. From what I understand, you can have 10 eggs, like you said, but if you put the 10 males, and each one of those would be a different dad.
Yep.
All right, so we got some. Does that answer your question, Gary? You're in the lottery, buddy. You're gonna see if it was the mailman's or yours whenever it comes out.
Yeah, it's the Who's Your Daddy clutch.
Who's your daddy? You gotta be eating that up, man. That's social media candy right there. I've got some. I want to call them cold seat questions, right? This is the Cold Blooded Talks podcast, and I've seen, a lot of people do this podcast, and they do what's called hot seat questions. It's just one or the other. You can also say pass if you don't want to answer. I ain't gonna press you to answer. I know you're pretty chill as the breeze. So we'll start with these, and I think there's like 8 or 10 of them at most. But just pick one whenever I round them off. So belly heat or back heat?
Belly heat.
Live or frozen?
Either or. I go frozen mostly just because I can separate sizes out if I need a certain size. Go right
there. Breed feeders or buy feeders?
Breed feeders.
Breed feeders all the way. Buy your hets or make your own?
Both.
Both.
But trust who you get your hets from.
Absolutely. Your name means something when it comes to the unforeseen. When you cannot see something, trust me, you want to make sure that your name is like gold.
Yep.
Paper or Coco?
I prefer Coco because time consuming wise.
Yeah.
I would let me rephrase that. I like paper better because it's cleaner.
Right.
But Coco is so much easier. And they're both beneficial to your snakes. They can burrow in it or they can have a cleaner environment.
Yeah. I'm the same way, man. I have one snake on paper. It's the retic. And I feel like it's just easier with him because I soak them and interact, stuff like that. So I really don't worry about. And he only eats every 2 weeks, so his poops are more far and few in between. So I'm Coco all the way too. I have nothing against paper. I can't stand snake pee. I can't stand the smell, which also my shop's connected to my house. I know your snake room's in your house, so the smell, keeping it down is a big plus with Coco. All right. Quality or quantity?
Definitely quality.
Absolutely. So for most common problems like ailments in the snake or any reptile in general that you feel comfortable with handling yourself, vet or home treatment?
On what now?
So like, you got a respiratory infection, or you got scale rot, or
Okay, so
like common stuff. Nothing like a crazy virus or,
yes. Now, if I see that an animal's got a burn,
right.
if it's a minor burn, I'll treat that all day long. With the betadine soaks, and
Yep.
if I feel they need an antibiotic, I'll take them to a vet. It just really depends on the situation. But if it's just a basic start of an RI, do the F10 fogger, treat it, raise the heat up.
Okay, so you do the F10 fogger. I use Talon 200. Have you ever used it for a respiratory infection?
Never heard of it.
Injection. Do it on the second, third. Basically, the spine's right here, just a little bit to the side of the spine.
Yeah, the upper third of the body.
Yes, upper third of the body. Thank you. Yeah, and inject it, and it seems to work. I do it for every 3 days for 2 weeks. I got a buddy in here, Gary. He had a snake that got a respiratory infection from which stemmed from a bad mouth infection. I think one of his snakes had got a hold of a rat, and the tooth broke off, and it ended up swelling up. And after a couple of days, me and him were looking at it, trying to figure out what was going on, and we seen that there was a tooth in there. We pulled it out, and we're treating that with betadine, diluted betadine, and it got better. But at that point, it had almost been 2 weeks of us trying to figure out why in the heck is his mouth, at first it just started out little, and then it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. It seemed like the last 3 days of us doing that, it grew huge. And then finally we seen the tooth, and at that point it had been so long, he was stressed out, he got a respiratory infection. Right. I noticed that he had saliva, and I told him, it's like, this is what we do. Hooked him up with all the stuff, and he treated it, and he's doing well now. I believe he's one of the baby daddies to his clutch. He's waiting on dropping any day now.
And what's the stuff called?
Talon 200. TYLAN 200.
And where do you purchase that?
Tractor Supply.
Talon 200.
Yeah, you can almost never get it because I'm assuming it's used for cattle.
Yeah.
It's always out of stock. I mean, I have people who look out for it, and when they see it, they tell me, and I'll run up there and get it. I have enough now to where I don't have to worry about buying any for hopefully a year. I mean, I don't know how long stuff shelf life is, but
I always use Baytril injections, but it's hard to get a vet to write that prescription.
That's a prescription medicine, Baytril. Yeah. Luckily, I've only
want to see the animal. They won't get theirs.
Yeah. Definitely.
But I'm talking like I want a big bottle,
right?
So I can treat 90 of them if I need to.
Right. GP Snake said you use Talon 200 as well. I have not had to deal with respiratory infections too much. I've had some that, man, that's one where I'm kind of like, I freak myself out about it because I'm handling it and I hear, and I'm like, whoa, what did you just do? Is that a wheeze or just you just breathing regular? I don't know if you do that too. You kind of like stop and you like turn everything off in the room. Let me listen till you breathe. Because that's like the worst thing ever, man. I'm terrified of getting something throughout my collection. And
most of us would keep racks. And the one thing about racks is they're all close together. So if one of them gets sick, chances are several more are going to get sick, and it'll just spread. You don't want that to happen.
Spread like a wildfire.
Right.
All right. So that was vet or home remedies. Kind of either way.
Depends on the situation.
So, but like, are you one of those people who would rather try to treat yourself first than go to the vet and I don't mean this in like a bashing way. Like you should never try to cheat yourself. You should always go to a vet. I'm almost on the end of. I feel like it can be just as bad not taking them to the vet as it could be taking them to the vet, right?
Right.
Because there's a lot of vets that don't know what they're doing, and I know this firsthand because I've literally had a couple come over here, and they may be watching this. I don't know. A couple weeks ago, and the vet told them completely wrong information about a snake, and in husbandry, wrong, feeding, wrong. I mean, everything that they told them about the snake was wrong. So what leg do they have to stand on to tell me that they even know what they're talking about when you're trying to fix the snake? Like, I get it that that's their degree, and I'm not trying to take it away from vets, you know, that they go to school for that stuff and that most of them do know what they're talking about. But for me, you know, kind of like what I'm leaning towards is I try to treat myself first, and vet last case scenario. You know, which ball pythons in general are really hardy animals. So you get to a point where you're like, I've got to go. Like, you know, it's some time has passed, right? Are you that way? Do you feel like
I am.
Like you can do a good job of, you know, kind of administering going to, I know you said the fogger.
Actually, I was treating an animal with the fogger, and I did notice that his respiratory infection wasn't getting any better. So I took him to a local vet here, supposed to be a good reptile vet.
Right.
I'm not going to name drop, but
yep.
I take the animal in, and it's during COVID, and they bring it back out and said, "This is such a well-mannered snake. He's doing so good." And I'm like, "He has an RI. I need you to do a culture, send it off, and give me some Baytril injections for the meantime while I wait on this to come back."
Yeah.
And they come back, you know, that he did have an RI. And he was like, "He was right. Okay." Unfortunately, the RI was so far in that the Baytril didn't have time to reverse the effect, and he did end up passing away on me. And that's another part of that. I mean, if you're going to do this, you got to be ready for that, because it will happen.
Yeah.
You can do all you can. Sometimes it's just, I mean, I didn't even know the age of the snake. This snake was given to me, you know, 4 or 5 years ago, and he just never thrived, I guess is what I'm saying. He was in a bad situation, and I tried to recover, and it didn't happen.
And from what I understand, not to harp on respiratory infections too long, but there are different strands, you know, of infections and stuff. So I feel like I have had quite a few friends that have had a respiratory infection for a very short amount of time. And it's like before I could even recommend a good remedy for them and them complete that, the animal has passed. And I don't understand why that is, other than the fact that some strains may be more aggressive than the others. I don't like to get into too deep on the vet side. That's why I didn't become a vet, because I'm not super good at that stuff. But I have to assume that it just has to be that strain being more aggressive than the other. What do you think?
I would say I would have to agree with you that there's some more aggressive strains, like nidovirus is probably one that not a lot of people know anything about, including myself. Probably the number one thing. From what I understand, it's inevitable. You can't cure it, and basically get them out of your collection if you can afford the testing to have it done.
Do you have any plans to get animals tested?
I would like to.
What's it like, $50-$60 a test right now?
I think it's $35 a test.
It's not as bad as I thought it was.
Iron Dog had a good podcast a couple of weeks ago with pack pythons.
Yep.
And he actually had a lot of his animals tested. And he knows quite a bit about it.
Iron Dog?
Pack pythons.
Okay. Yeah. I've been following along with him. He's kind of leading the forefront on YouTube with that stuff.
Yep.
I'd like to have all of my animals tested in the next, year and a half or so. think the only way to really do it for the most, normal person who doesn't just have the money laying around there is just, do a few of them a month,
Yep.
and knock it out that way. But the only problem that I feel with that is kind of like the spread of them, if you, and I wanted to do like the bulk of it with outside of breeding season. That way there's limited contact with one another.
Right.
But like I said, the problem with that is the contact, snakes being right beside each other, we keep doing racks, So it's a sucky virus and subject altogether, but we've got to do something about it if we ever want it to stop. So Lou Ball says most veterinarians know nothing about reptiles. They use Google to try to help, but they mostly specialize in mammals. I think you're correct. But, it's like they're not going to, they have a sign on their door that says that they can see animals. And they're going to want to get that $50 to $100 to get you in the door. Then, some of them may tell you they can't help you. They can't do nothing. But they've got that $50 that you owe them for them weighing your snake, which you already knew, or whatever it is you're bringing in.
Now, for anybody watching locally that doesn't know, Pennyroyal is a good place to take your reptiles. They do have a good reptile vet on hand up there, and also in Lexington, Kentucky, there's a place called Clays Mill Road Veterinary Clinic. They were actually recommending me to them by Pennyroyal, because Pennyroyal couldn't see my snake at the time that I needed them to, and they were great over there as well.
Yeah, I haven't been to either one of those. I was going to go to Pennyroyal. So I've got 6 bearded dragons. Well, I have 3 and my kids have 3. And I wanted them to get off fecal test. No special reason, just wanted to do it, And their visitation fee is $50 per animal, and then $50 per fecal test. Not saying that it's not worth it, not saying that that's too much or anything, but when I added it up, I was like, okay, we're going to either find a new vet that'll do a group price or take them one at a time, because that is a little extreme. What's going on, Joe? All right, man. Well, we've been going on a little bit over an hour. You got anything else you want to add? Does anybody have any questions? Now is the time to ask them. Gypsy says Pennyroyal is the best. I guess she's local. Lexington, maybe?
Yeah, she's in Irving.
Irving? Okay.
Yep.
Hit the like button, GP Snake says. What are you saying, Rob?
Oh, he's a great friend of mine. Over there, like a sister.
That's awesome. Crossroads Vet Clinic. This is Marty and April Prather. I completely forgot about that story I was telling you all. I got off on a tangent, which I'm known for. But the split clutch, she ended up having 6 eggs. And then the last 2, she got egg bound, which was the first female that I'd ever had become egg bound here. Have you dealt with this?
I haven't.
You haven't? Very, 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 very lucky. Very good. I didn't really know what to do. All I knew what to do was what I had seen on YouTube videos and read and comments and stuff like that. And I acted on it, and I told him, I said, let's get her in a bath. I was like, this may help. So we got her, warm soak going, and Marty popped the lid open. He goes, she passed one. This is like 5 minutes in, and I thought he was fooling me. I swear I thought he was just messing with me, because I didn't think it was going to work. And she did end up passing one, and the second one was so large. It wasn't that she had a twisted oviduct. There was nothing wrong, but it was so large that she couldn't pass it. And which it did look huge, even outside. Not in the X-ray, but when you see the X-ray, I mean, it was massive. So they ended up having to take her to the clinic or the vet, and I think that Crossroads Vet Clinic is the one that they ended up taking her to. They said that they were super great and got her in and out very nicely. Minimal procedure. I think she had a little cut, and that she should be ready to go next season. So it's something, if anybody local ever runs into that type of situation, Crossroad Vet Clinic is one you should put on the back burner just to have. And I don't want y'all to think I'm like anti-vet or stuff like that. There's certain stuff we can't do or we're not going to do. I'm definitely not going to cut open any of my snakes. I'm definitely not going to let my snakes sit in weeks and weeks egg bound.
Yeah, the longer they sit, the egg can actually adhere to the oviduct.
Yeah.
I've never dealt with this situation, but I've done a lot of research on it. And I've followed, pretty much, the ball python king.
Yeah.
In my eyes is Kevin McCurley.
Yeah.
And he actually has a great video. It's a 2-part video of having a egg-bound blood python.
Yeah.
And he says, it's pretty much the same with all snakes. If you do not take care of this situation, death will happen because it pretty much will rot inside of them. They're trying to absorb them, which causes it to adhere. And then you can take a really bad situation and it can get a lot worse if you don't deal with it.
Because after ovulation, there is no absorbing them, right? They are eggs at that point.
Yet, if they don't get rid of them, their bodies will try.
Right.
They can't. Right. They will rot.
Yep. I imagine just like they rot on the outside in the incubator when they go bad, they do the same thing inside, maybe a little bit worse.
It looks like Mike said he's dealing with it right now. So
yeah, he sent me a picture.
Unfortunate, but
yeah, it really is. And I tell people all the time, it's like, I don't know, man. I don't feel like you should get into it's reptile keeping first, and if you breed, that's cool. But just remember that you're keeping first, right? So if you have an animal that can't help itself and it literally needs your help, you have to remember that it doesn't matter what, in my opinion, shall I say. I'm not going to force my opinion on anybody else. You can't really, say, well, I only paid such and such for the animal and it's double that to get this fix, now, don't get me wrong. I get that your family has to eat. And if you don't have but $100 in your bank account, I get that. There are people out there who can help you. You have to be able to reach out and, be able to say, hey, I need help. I need, or I can't take care of this animal or whatever the case may be to be able to speak for that animal, that reptile, that snake, that lizard, whatever it is. Don't be, too, I don't know what word I'm looking. Don't be too big headed, to feel like you can't reach out, or you're just gonna. I don't know. Some people, man, I know that you have some people who literally put their house up for their animal. I'm telling you, my wife's one of them. I've got, and I'm sure your wife's the same way. I've got a dog right now, and she's got a back issue, and I just pray she don't flare up again because my wife will straight up sell the car and expect me to sell some snakes to pay for that CT scan and surgery.
That's so funny you say something like that because my wife picked up a free kitten.
Okay.
Because we had an incident where a dog had killed a cat. One of our kittens was by itself, so she went on Facebook, found a free kitten, and brought it home. Had it 2 days, and the kitten fell off something in my garage and broke its jaw.
Oof.
Fractured its bottom jaw.
Wow.
We take to the vet next morning, and literally $846 later.
Jeez.
Cat's at home eating like nothing's wrong with it. Had a pin put in its jaw to hold it in place. The pin fell out. Took pictures, sent it back to the vet. They said as long as the cat's acting fine, they wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah.
So an $846 free kit.
Hefty bill. Yeah, man. That'd be rough. But it all boils down to the love for animals, man. And if you got it, and you can put that out there to help that animal, I mean, she'll probably be forever grateful. I'm assuming she's never going anywhere, right?
No.
Yeah, she's a Sours now, that's for sure.
Yep.
So I got a question here, And Brandon Fraley says he's got a banana male that hasn't eaten in 7 to 8 months. He doesn't know what to do. Can you help? Any help would be great.
I've tried this before. First off, if you're parenting, the smell of another female can cause him to go off bait. And if he's being paired, he has that smell on him.
Yeah.
So I would try something like if you bred a female and they've laid eggs, the whole give them a bath in Dawn dish liquid, wash their enclosure. Do that same treatment to that male and see if that doesn't help him get back on bait. But before I would try that, I would try changing his prey item. Say if you feed him live rats, offer him a live mouse just to see. Mm-hmm. If you offer him frozen thawed rats, offer him a live rat.
Switch it up. Something new.
Move him in your rooms, different place, something.
Ball pythons, sometimes they can be tricky, and most times they are very simple. You just have to know what to do. And all that boils down to is the right people knowing knowing who to ask. People like Rob. And it looks like Heather said, that's me. Spent $8,000 on her daughter's dog last year. Jesus.
I spent $3,000 on my dog this year. He had cancer in his mouth and had to have part of his jaw removed, and that was $3,000.
Well, I'm not that deep. I guess I can quit complaining. That CT scan come back like almost $2,000 or something like that, and I was like, what the heck? And that's not even like fixing her. You know what I mean? I don't understand. I mean,
we just to find out what's wrong.
I don't know, man. So I think this is Kano here. He says for an egg-bound girl, it was $500 to save her life and for her to be healthy. Oh, this might be Marty and April there. But Joe says, have I thought about getting into venomous? We kind of touched on that earlier. I am not getting into venomous. No, sir.
Not even hog nose?
I get the rear fang venomous, the hog nose, just to say I got a venomous.
I always joke around and say, I got hog nose, man. I'm badass.
Yeah. Which, I guess, I don't know if the Tegu's following that, but I know the monitors was. I had two mangrove monitors. Their saliva mildly venomous.
Yeah, they're nasty.
I was showing my wife the beaded lizards, the Mexican beaded lizards, and see Earl from Lone Star Reptiles. He has down there. He's got a bunch of hots. We were watching that video and looking at them. They're pretty cool reptiles. Man, I love them. I like looking at them, And but Brandon, real quick before you go, he says thanks. He's been trying different things, but I think he's where we had him paired for a while. I'm gonna try to clean everything really well, change the spot in the rack. Thank you. I have a few tips, and it may help, it may not. Sometimes, when I have a trouble eater, I feel like it's more important when you're talking about that long. When you're talking about 7 to 8 months, I'll try a mouse because I'd rather switch them back from a mouse to a rat than not have them eat continuously, right? Or even a mouse bedding. Mice bedding is like potent, super potent, and that has worked for me. Or you can also try this new stuff that I've came across that has worked for me in the past 3 weeks, and it is called Da Vinci. I believe it's just Da Vinci.
Da Vinci's boa.
Da Vinci's boa, something like that. Crazy
supplement.
It's like $85 for 100 milliliters, and I ordered it, and I was just like, man, what if this stuff doesn't work? But everybody's raving about it, and I ended up getting it in, and I've had 2 snakes that I was not able to get back on food, not back on food, but continue eating after a hunger strike. A bamboo 100% head exantic and a Orange Dream Inchy Fire Pastel male. It was about 500 or 600 grams. Never been paired. So I gave it to them both. And the bamboo 100% head exantic male, he hasn't eaten in about 3 months, and it was like a week after that he went back on food, and he's been eating ever since. So I'm 50-50 with it right now. if I get both of them to eat, it's well worth the $85. What makes it even better is somehow they sent me a second bottle. I just thought that was just the luck of the draw.
You're right.
Yeah. So, have you heard of that? You've heard of that?
I have a bottle of it. I ordered it too.
Yeah.
The day I ordered it, the snake I ordered it for, ate.
Really? Wow.
Yep. But it
was in the air. It smelled it.
And he's had 2 doses of it, so
yeah.
I offered today, and he didn't eat again.
Is that the only snake you used it on?
I've used it on 3.
Yeah.
And so far, other than him eating the day I ordered it, which I don't count that.
Right.
It hasn't. I haven't seen anything from it, but I've only gave 2 doses too. So.
Right. Was it kind of hard for you to get a feel on how to put that in their mouth? And because when I first did it, man, it was squirting back out. And I was like,
You had to put it pretty much the whole
way, yeah.
Pulpit down in
and that didn't happen with me. I guess I was afraid to go too far.
Yeah, if you get that on your hands, it's sticky too.
Yeah.
Bad sticky.
Yeah.
But
here's a question for you, Rob. What's your favorite morph? He's asking. This is Joe's, one of my hunting buddies. I don't know that he knows too much about ball pythons, but he's chiming in. That's all that matters.
I would have to say clown, I think is my favorite. Standalone morph,
yeah.
Or pied, but definitely some combos. But there's my boy, Granddaddy Hertz, Anthony.
It's clown pied in the projects. Granddaddy Hertz, what's going on?
Yeah, definitely Desert Ghost Clown. That's my ultimate goal for me right now.
Okay.
But my favorite combo would have to be either highway or freeway.
Yeah.
And I got a banging nice super.
I was gonna put that question in the
freeway.
The coach seat questions, gravel or asphalt.
Man. Depends on what day you ask me.
Right. I'm saying, man.
Right now, I'm kind of like a freeway just because that super itchy freeway I got, man, it's so bright.
Yeah.
You haven't seen
Troy, right?
Until you see that. Yeah, he comes from Troy.
I haven't seen him in person. I'm assuming he's a lot brighter in person than he is.
Well, I say he, but I can explain about that a little bit later.
All right. Well, if you guys in the comments have any questions for Rob, you can pop them up there now. Otherwise, we're gonna log off here. I got some people talking to each other, saying hi to Granddaddy. I guess he's the man. Granddaddy Hertz.
He is. He's a Desert Ghost man.
Okay.
If you like some blackhead stuff, he's got some nice stuff.
Blackhead.
Anthony's a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
We go way back.
Okay. Is he local or?
He's actually out of California.
California.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good stuff coming out of California, man. So I got my Burmese from, and he's headed to the gym. So that's good. That's something I don't do.
Get a swole on.
Yeah.
Granddaddy Hertz has actually been on MJ's podcast.
Okay. So he's big time.
Oh, yeah, he's big time.
All right. Well, I appreciate you blessing
He's a legend.
Blessing my live here. I got 20 viewers here. I think that's the most that it's went up to. I apologize again, everybody, for the beginning of the live. That was a straight catastrophe. I know my wife was watching that and laughing her behind off, but we got it going. And I want to say I appreciate every single one of you all for taking the time out tonight to watch this live. I hope you learned something. If you did need to learn something, and if you didn't need to learn something, I hope you learned something anyway. My name is Ramel. This is Rob. Y'all have been watching the Cold Blooded Talks podcast. And next week, y'all tune back in the same time, same day. We're going to have Deshaun from GP Snakes. Yeah, appreciate it. Granddaddy Hertz, rewatch this. Get your flex on at the gym. And we will see y'all later. Y'all have a good night.
Peace out, everybody.